Hello, good evening, everyone. How are you doing? Welcome again to the StoryFest, curated especially for you by Oxford University Press, India. I see a hello. Hello, Indra. So that means that you are able to see me. Can you drop a hello, hi in the chat box for everyone who's able to see me? Let's check. Let's check. I can already see many people writing the name of the story as well. That's interesting. Hi, everyone. Very nice. Very nice. So, you know the name of the story. You are here. I can see with your hellos. So, we're all set and ready. Welcome to the Story Fest. Welcome to day 3 of the Story Fest, where we are not just reading stories, where we are not just listening to the stories, but we are also diving deep into the various elements of the story, trying to understand, infer the meanings, characters, infer what the story is trying to tell us. Lovely. So tell me, today is day 3, but is it your first day, second day, or third day in the Story Fest? Put down in the chat box. Are you attending the Story Fest for the first time? If yes, write first. If you are attending it for the second time, write second. And if you have been attending since Monday, write third. I see that most of us are coming back. So okay, let's do a fun check. What is making you come back? Put it in the chat box. What is making you come back? Is it your love for stories? Is it that you're enjoying the tellings? Or is it that you have some pressure from around you that you have to be here? So, 3 words: love for stories, enjoying the sessions, pressure from around. What is it? Let's get to know. I can't see you, but through your chats, I can already feel a connection between us. So let's see. Okay, so we have all kinds of. All right, lovely. So most of you are here for the enjoyment and love for stories, but for everyone who's here because of some pressure from around you, I'll try my best to make this 1 hour as fruitful, as fun, and as engaging as I can. While we cannot see each other, but the chat box keeps it alive for both of us. So keep your responses coming. Now, coming to today's story. Today's story is The Flying Elephant. You've read about it. Okay, so do elephants fly? No. So, what is it? What is happening? That the title of the story itself is The Flying Elephant. And let me tell you that this is one of the folk tales. Now, who is going to tell me in the chat box what is a folk tale? You don't know? That's fine. I'm here to tell you, but let's see if any of your friends know about it. Oh, good, 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 Maulik Sarda. It is a traditional story that has been coming to us from long, 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 long time. It's an imaginary tale. It is stories told by people, folk tales. Logon ki kahaniyan, stories of the folk from it, traditional way of story from generations, coming from long way. Yes, we are writing reflections today. Traditional story. All right. All right. Like somebody said, lovely. So, folk tales are the stories of the folk that have been carried forward from generation after generation, and they have mostly traveled by the means of oral storytelling. Now, after the and oral storytelling is one of the oldest forms of communication, even when we had no writings, no documentation. And now that we have that, so there are a lot of anthologies, there are a lot of collection of folk tales that you can find around you. But though folktales are exactly what you all said. Now, I want to ask, call the story. Let's wait for someone. more time. Now, some of you have written about writing reflections. So, what are writing reflections? So, whenever we are reading a story or listening to a tale, we think about it, we listen to it, we ponder over it, and then we forget. But for children to internalize the story, to imbibe it in the best possible manner, it's really, really important that we build this practice of writing about what we are reading. Like somebody said, that it's very important for you to read for 30 minutes daily. For a few minutes, you should at least write a one page daily and speak for at least 2 minutes. And that is how you will develop your oral, written, and communication skills. Yes. So today is about writing reflections. What so how many of us here, students here, are you a student, a parent, a teacher? Quickly, are you a student, parent, or a teacher who's logged in? Student, call. Yes, we are calling. Okay, students. So, how many of you write something about the story after you read it? If you write yes. If you don't write no. You write. What do you usually write about the story after you have read it? Thank you, Asha ji. Summary, moral. Okay. So you write summary and you write moral. Those are the two typical things that we write about the story. Write the summary of the story, write the moral of the story, write the whole story, what I have understood from the story. So my question is, after you have read a story, do you write something about it? If you do, what it is usually. So the most of the responses that I'm getting in the chat box is moral and summary. Yes, that's great. That's a great way to remember what you have read, what you have listened to. But there are so many other things that we can write. There are so many other reflections that we can do. And today is all about that. So the story for today is The Flying Elephant. And I quickly want all of you, since it's about writing reflections, everyone should have a paper and a pen. If you already have it, great. If you don't have it, go get one from around you. And after you have your paper and a pen, write paper pen in the chat box. Write paper pen in the chat box. Yes, Nirali, we will call the story. I am so glad that all of you have been joining day after one after the other. And so, everybody, please go. I'm giving you 30 seconds to go grab a sheet of paper and a pen so that we can begin for today. Lovely. Thank you, Jayant, for carrying a paper and a pen. It's very, very important. All right. Okay. So we will call the story Patience. Before we call the story, I want you to pick up your pen and write on your sheet of paper. Your first writing reflection for today is, when I saw something that didn't flying in the sky, I felt, listen to it. It's slightly twisted. When I saw something that doesn't flying in the sky, I felt. Put it in your sheet of paper and then type it out. When I saw something that doesn't usually flying in the sky, I felt. Please complete this sentence. When I see something that doesn't fly, flying in the sky, I feel. How do you feel? What have you written? Put it in the chat box. Okay, so somebody has written, I feel amused and surprised. Somebody and has written, maybe I'm dreaming. I feel maybe I'm dreaming. Sometimes I feel shocked. Okay, interesting. Mm. Then you feel that this is so good and imaginary for children. You feel confused, you feel amazed, you feel shocked, you feel pinch me, and you feel like flying yourself. Lovely. All right, all right. Okay. It's like a tongue twister. Yes. Okay. You feel weird. You feel happy. All right. All right. Lovely. Lovely. Can you name one object that doesn't fly, but or object, animal, anything from around you that you want to see flying? Put your responses in the chat box. Anything that you want to see flying. Eyes widened in disbelief. Very good language usage. Fish, horse, me, myself, owl, tree, lion, cat, book. Aeroplane usually is in the air. Banana. You want to me to fly? Okay, that's interesting. Unicorn, snakes, house. Okay, lovely, lovely, lovely. Now with this, let's call the story. Everybody, how do we call the story? Call, call the story. Call the story. Call the story. Call the story to the life. Call the story. Call the story. Call the story. Call the story to the life. And if you like this way of calling the story, press the like button. Quickly do that. Call the story. Call the story. Call the story. Call the story to the life. If you like how we call the story, press the like button. I can see some hearts coming in. And the story is here. The story, as you know, today is The Flying Elephant. And this is a folk tale. Now, folk tale are the stories that have come from long, long time ago through oral traditions. They have been passed from one generation to another. But folk tales are also representative of a certain region, certain country, certain city, certain tribe. And wherever it originates from, the story has the elements of that particular region. So the story that we are going to listen to today is a Bhil folk tale. Bhil is the second largest tribe of India, which is found in the regions of Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat, and around. Okay. And so the story is from a long, long, long time ago where there was a farmer. And before we proceed further in the story, I want you to write quickly the farmer that looked like, and let's do a quick character sketch of this farmer. For everybody who attended yesterday, you know what is a character sketch. For everybody who did not, please define the farmer, how it looks, what it wears, what it likes to do, what it doesn't like to do, how it behaves, what are its characteristics, personality. Let's quickly write the farmer's character sketch in our journals. You remember the story from yesterday, Manisa. That's interesting. It's fat and tall and kind and makes food grains. He's an old man with banyan and dhoti with an eggs on his shoulder. Very nice, Ashutosh. I'm a storyteller. He's hardworking. Okay, poor, thin, honest, hardworking, and innocent farmer. Lovely, lovely descriptions coming in. So I think you've all got the character sketches right. A muscular young farmer, full of. He is good, smart, and hardworking. Lovely. Try and write your responses in full sentences. Social media and technology has done that to us. We'd like to write just one or two words, but full sentences, a descriptive answer is always a delight to read. A man with dhoti kurta and cutting crops. Okay. Okay. All right. Good, good, good. So now this farmer had a farm of sugar canes. He loved to do a lot of things. He loved to grow his crops. He took care of them very, very well. And he had the best sugarcane crop around in the village. The farmer is an old man with a good personality and is a very hardworking. He makes his family feel good and is also wearing a dhoti and banyan. So this farmer has a crop of. Everybody in the chat box, did you hear me? Did you listen to me? He's growing which crop? Sugarcane, yes. And the sugarcane is almost ready to harvest. And he goes one night thinking that he will start harvesting it the following day. Now, when next day the farmer returns to the farm, he's shocked. Where is my sugarcane? He see that one third of his farm has been worked upon. Sugarcanes are damaged, broken, and one third of his crop is gone. Farmer is shocked, amused, not at all. He is surprised, he is shocked. Such thing has never happened in their village. Nobody harms each other in my village. Who really has done it? He goes back thinking hard. He goes back and he is sleeping and thinking what could have gone wrong. But just thinking that maybe it was just one day something happened, he thinks that, okay, it's okay. I have at least two-thirds of my crops. I'll go back and cut it. So next day he goes back to his farm and there is more shock awaiting. Second, third, that means one third, another one third of his crop is gone. Another one third of my crop gone? What will I do this season? No! But who is doing it? I have to find it at any cost. And he goes back thinking of a plan. And while he goes back, he sneakily comes back to the farm that night. After all, the sleep was far away from his eyes. He comes back and stays there near the big banyan tree that was near his farm. He hides himself behind the trunk of the tree, watching carefully, waiting for the thief. While he was waiting and waiting and waiting, nothing happened. And he started to feel sleepy. And while he was sleeping, suddenly he heard a thud. He was startled and he opened his eyes and saw. What did he really see? A big elephant, a flying elephant, come down to his farm. And this elephant was going all around the farm and destroying the crops. Take one sugarcane, second, and third. He was jumping and walking and stomping from one sugarcane to other. And while the farmer saw him and was initially scared of how could he stop such a big animal, the farmer decided to take action. He stopped that elephant and said, "What are you? Why are you doing this to my farm?" Elephant said, "I enjoy destroying the crops." What? Oh, yes, I do. This is not done. You cannot do this. Oh, of course I can. And with that, farmer got really, really angry and he picked up a stick from around him and looking at the stick, "You can't do anything for me. I am going." And saying this, the elephant started to fly. Yes, it was a flying elephant. And the elephant started to fly, and the farmer held one of its legs while it was flying. And it went up and up and up and up went the farmer. And the elephant flew in the sky and taking along the farmer. And as the farmer was almost losing hold, and he felt that I will fall down, suddenly elephant stopped, and a farmer found himself above the clouds. He was on the clouds. He looked around him. There were all kinds of jewels around him: diamonds, emeralds, green, sapphire, topaz. Wow, am I in heaven? Yes, you are. You are in heaven. Why did you destroy my crops? And while elephant passed by laughing, and the farmer got angrier and angrier, suddenly came a voice of the king of the heaven. "Who is it getting angry in my land?" "It's me, king. What has your elephant done?" "Oh, yeah, he's a naughty elephant. He loves to destroy the crops. Do you have a sugarcane farm?" "Yes, my lord, I do." "Yeah, this elephant loves to destroy sugarcane farms. He loves to eat sugarcanes. Ah, what can I do? Please forgive him. All I can offer you is you can take as many jewels as you want from here." Listening to this, farmer got really, really happy. He said, "What? I can take as many jewels as I want. Now, I want you to write quickly in your journals. If I had a chance, I would pick." So you have jewels all around you. And your writing reflection is, "If I was in the heaven, I would pick." What would you pick? Please complete this sentence and write it in the chat box. I will pick handful of jewels, as many gems as I could. Diamond ring for my mother. Okay, I would pick diamond jewelry. Now, this farmer was smart. He picked a few diamonds, few emeralds, few topaz, and a little bit of everything, and until he had a bag full of jewels. And once he had taken all the jewels, he was ready to go. As he was going back, he was very happy. He went back and he was dropped in his village. Now, with using all these jewels, I'll tell you what the farmer did. But before I tell you what the farmer did, I wanted to quickly write this reflection. If I was in place of the farmer, I would use my jewels too. What will you use your jewels to? Let's see how creative, how innovative can you be in using your treasure. And if you're liking the story, if you're finding it interesting, and if you're excited to know what's going to happen next, drop a like. Buy a mansion, a car, a house, a shop, buy a house for my parents, I'll sell them and get all the money, buy something very, very expensive, give it to poor, give it to temple, give it to my family, buy a bicycle and then a PS5, candy house. Lovely, interesting. Help the poor, buy more land. I'll make sugarcane so that the elephant comes again and you can go back to the heaven once again to get the jewels. Okay, so now farmer decided to build himself a big mansion. He built himself a big mansion, but of course, that caught the attention of people around him. They came to him and asked, "Hey Raj, hey Ram, where did you get this mansion from?" And our farmer, being the simpleton he was, told them everything. Now, people of the village were all kinds. Now there's another writing reflection. In this village lived people of various types, and they were, what kind of people lived in this village? They were, in this village lived people of all types, and they were mansion with a swimming pool. I'm not sure if farmer had a swimming pool in his mansion. You would buy what? Jupiter, Saturn. What kind of people were in the village? In the village were people of all kinds, some greedy, some short, some tall, some kind, some honest, some dishonest. And everybody got to know that this is how farmer has gotten rich. And they all wanted to go to the heaven now that they knew the way to the heaven. So, what do you think everybody did? Now they wanted to go to the heaven. They knew how to go there. What would they do? What should be their next step? Let's think. Let's help the villagers to their way to the heaven. What should they do? They should plant. They should plant what? Yes, all the villagers started to put sugar canes in their farms and they waited and they waited and they waited. The sugarcane farms were flourishing in the village. You look here, there was sugarcane. You look there, there was sugarcane. You look this side, there was sugarcane. You look that side, there was sugarcane. There was sugarcane all around. And now, when this sugarcane farm was ready, all the villagers, at least quite a few of them, waited night after night after night to see when the elephant would come. For so many nights, nobody came. The villagers started losing hope. Some of them would still stay, some of them would go sleep, some of them had just uh, lost all hopes. And one fine day, when some of them were waiting, came a big noise. And what was that noise, everybody? What was that sound? Finally, the day is here. What was that sound? Sound of the elephant was dun, dun, dun. Very good, Ritesh. Thud. The elephant was here. Villagers looked at him and said, "Ah, you're here. Eat as many sugar canes as you want. Destroy, eat, destroy, eat, destroy, eat. But take us to the heaven." The elephant didn't know what they meant, but all he wanted was to eat the sugar canes. So he went from one farm to the other, and ate as many sugar canes as he wanted, played with as many sugar canes as he wanted. And when he was done for the day, he started to fly. Now, when he started to fly, one villager held his leg. The other villager held the other person's hand. Third villager held the second person's hand. Fourth villager held the fifth person's hand. And there was a chain behind the flying elephant. And they were all going to the heaven. They all went to the heaven. And although the weight was heavy, the elephant kept flying high in the sky, and finally they reached the heaven, and all of them were amazed. They went mad, they went crazy looking at all the jewels around them. Ah, let's pick this. Somebody picked all the diamonds. Somebody else picked all the topaz. Somebody else wanted just the emeralds. Somebody wanted all of them. And they managed to pick whatever they could. And it was time for them to go back. As they were going back, holding the elephant, one villager said, "What did you pick?" The lady said, "I picked so many diamonds." The other one said, "I picked yellow, red, green, all types of stones." The third one said, my bag is full of jewels." The lady behind said, "What are you saying? I can't hear you." He said, "My bag is full of jewels." "What? I can't hear you. I have picked so many jewels. Say louder, Ray." And this man said, "I have picked so many jewels." And while they were just dreaming that they will talk like this on their way back, they couldn't even reach the heaven. Because as the man opened his hands, he fell down without reaching the heavens. And all their plans to collect all different types of jewels went down the drain. And that was the story of the flying elephant. Now, quickly in your journals, before you put it in the chat box, how did the story make you feel? Let's write. These are the questions. Thank you. Thank you for all the suggestions, and please charge if your battery is about to get over. So I don't want one word answers. I want you to take 15 seconds. I am pausing to really put what you are feeling. How is the story making you feel and why in the journal, and then type it in the chat box. You know, whenever we listen to something, there is some train of thought that is running in our heads. I want you to take a moment to pause, reflect, and then write whatever is running in your head at this moment. What is it making you feel and why? This why is very, very important. You're feeling bored? Why? Put it down. You're feeling interested? Put it down. Why? You enjoyed? Why? What was enjoyable about it? It made you feel so nice, smiley, 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 smiley. Why? 10,000, 1 lakh out of 1 lakh? Why? You are feeling dash because dash. Whenever we write, it's important to write in full sentences, give a reason for whatever. I feel shocked and feel like telling myself to never be greedy. Good. This story is great and it encourages us to read more books because it is very interesting. And yes, reading portal of OUP is filled with many such stories. The story made me laugh because of the elephant. Good, good. That's how you should be writing. I'm not feeling greedy because the story made me to not feel greedy anymore. Okay. Nobody died really. I feel like I'm flying because when you told that the elephant was flying, I also felt like. Okay, all right, all right. So children, students, parents, teachers, this was the first story of the day. It's a folk tale, and as I mentioned, that this is a Bhil folk tale. So now, what I want to introduce you to is, since we have read a Bhil folk tale, a story from the world of Bhil tribe, I want you to introduce you to Bhil art. Bhil art is a very beautiful art form, and you will tell me what it is identified by after I show you these pictures. So we will go to this link called bhilart.com where you can access different kinds of Bhil art. Can you see the screen, everybody? If you can see my screen, say yes. Okay, lovely. Okay, so what you see here is the Bhil art form. Can you tell me one distinguishing factor that is signature of the Bhil art? Look at this image. What is it made of? Can you give me? Okay, very good. Astro number Upma. You were there yesterday as well. Dots. Do you see all these images that I'm showing you are made of dots, very fine dots, and that is the significant signature of Bhil art. I'll also show you. See the birds, the farmers carrying. Look at that. And I'll also show you elephants in Bhil art. Yeah, I hope this motivates you to try your hand at Bhil art. I just wanted you to introduce since we listened to a Bhil folk tale, which is part of Oxford University Press India's reading portal, one of the books in the reading portal. And now I'm going to tell you something very, very interesting. Now let's do a reading reflection. Let's write 6 words about this story. Let's write, and you will type your response in the chat box at once. You have listened to the story. Write 6 words about this story. 6 words. Put all the six words together in one chat, okay? Interesting, engaging, imagine, funny, moral, cute, okay? Elephant, fly, farmer, diamond. Six words that actually define the story, that tells, that summarizes the story. Don't just pick up words. Funny, dreamy, interesting, good, greedy, beautiful. Okay. Interesting, amusing, breathtaking, understanding, nice, enjoyable. Lovely. So, these little reflections, children, not just summary and the moral, of course, that's important. But if you do these little reflections also when you're reading the story, when you're looking at the story, when you're in middle of the story, sometimes you're reading big chapter books. So these little reflections help you keep yourself engaged while listening to the story. Okay. All right. Okay, the last reflection about this particular story. Do you think the flying elephant ever came back to Earth? If yes, what happened? If no, what did he keep doing in the heavens? No, because the elephant thought more people will come and take all the treasure. So he said, no, I'm not going on the earth. But I'll tell you what happened in the story in the end. I was saving it for now. The king said, now I'm going to start growing crops, sugar canes in the heaven. So you don't go on the earth and disturb people on the earth. All right. Okay. Now that was the story for today. We got to know a little bit about folk tales. We got to know a little bit about writing reflections. All I want to tell you is that this is just the beginning. The attempt through the StoryFest is to introduce you to various things that you can do with stories apart from just reading them, so that your interest in them is created. You think more, you dive deep, and enjoy them more. Today is February 5th. It's also the World Read Aloud Day. So I have another storybook for you, and we're going to read it. I've just picked something from my library. Are you ready to listen to this read aloud, everybody? If you're ready, then please write crazy in the chat box. Let me see. Or drop a like. I'm sorry, this is not a cartoon character drawing workshop. Crazy, crazy, crazy. As soon as I get 50 crazies, I'm going to start reading. I've already got 15, 20, 25, 35, 40. All right, so we have 50 crazies. Let's start reading. So, the book that we're going to read aloud today, in the and to celebrate the World Read Aloud Day on February 5th, is Crazy Hair Day by Barney Salzberg. Stanley Birdbaum woke up early. Bald Eagle Elementary School was celebrating Crazy Hair Day, and Stanley couldn't wait. They had celebrated Pajama Day, Twin Day, and 60s Day. Stanley's favorite was Twin Day because he and his best friend, Larry Finchfeather, had worn exactly the same thing. He was thinking of the Twin Day. This is the 60s day, and this is the Pajama Day. So he has all his pictures, he's looking at them, and today in his school is going to be the Crazy Hair Day. So, quickly a writing reflection. I'm excited about the crazy hair day because, quickly, in your journals and then in the chat box, I'm excited about the crazy hair day because crazy, 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 crazy. Thank you, Blooming Bhanani, for all this information about Bhil art. It's a vibrant form of tribal painting reflecting the rich cultural heritage of the Bhil community. Its bold, intricate designs often depict nature, animals, and daily life. Yes. I'm excited because the storyboard is going to be crazy. Okay, let's see. Stanley was ready. He had rubber bands, he had styling gel, and to make his hair perfect, Stanley had 2 cans of Halloween hairspray. Stanley's mother just knew what to do. She wrapped, she dipped, and to make his hair perfect, she sprayed Stanley's hair bright orange and blue. Ta-da! I am a work of art, said Stanley. You're going to be late if you don't hurry. Who do you think said this? Stanley? Stanley is worried about being late? Who's worried about being late? Who is worried about being late? Moms. This is mom's duty, right? Okay. Stanley rolled the rubber bands in his hair. Look at his hair. All the rubber bands rolled around. He gently tapped the top of his spikes. This is going to be a day I will never forget. And look, is he catching attention? Yes or no? How do you know that he's catching attention? People from the car are looking back at him. I bet Larry and I will have the craziest hair in the whole school, Stanley thought. As he walked toward the classroom, he heard his teacher talking. And remember, Mrs. Winger said, crazy hair day is next Friday. Oh, so today was not the crazy hair day. Everybody stopped. Everybody stared. Stanley felt sick. Larry said, is that a hairdo or a hair don't? Everybody laughed. Today is not even the crazy hair day. And look at him, what hairstyle he has come with. Stanley ran to the bathroom. A few minutes later, Stanley heard someone come in. It's me, Larry Finchfeather. The Larry Finchfeather who just made fun of me in front of the whole class. I was only teasing, said Larry. Some days you tease me so much, said Stanley. Mr. Winger said he wants me to try to be a peacemaker instead of troublemaker. I'm supposed to bring you back to class. I am not going, said Stanley. If you stay in here, you'll miss being in the class picture, said Larry. I thought that was next Friday, said Stanley. Crazy hair day is next Friday. Today is school picture day. Stanley rolled the rubber bands in his hair. He gently tapped the top of his spike. This is going to be the day I will never forget. Larry suggested that Stanley try washing his hair in the sink. It won't help. Halloween hair color lasts for days. But it really doesn't matter. It's only your hair. If you don't come out of here by the time math is over, I'm coming to get you. You can't stay here all day, said Larry. It was very quiet after Larry left, and Stanley wondered if maybe he could spend all day in the bathroom. He ate his lunch in the bathroom. He drew pictures in the bathroom. He even timed himself to see how fast he could flush all the toilets. 32 and a half seconds, he shouted. A new world record by me. He was doing this again and again and again till the time Larry came back. Beep, time's up, let's go. Picture time, Larry announced. If I'm in it, I will look like a weirdo. Larry was feeling upset and he didn't want to look like a weirdo because everybody, a writing reflection. Larry did not want to be looked like a weirdo Because because he had a crazy hairstyle. Everyone would laugh at him. They would make fun of him. But after a lot of convincing from Larry, his friend, he decided to go back to class. To keep from being nervous, Stanley made up a song. Crazy hair, how I wish I wasn't there. Crazy hair, how I wish I wasn't there. Crazy hair, how I wish I wasn't there. Are you singing with me? If you're singing with me, write yes in the chat box. Write sing in the chat box actually. Write sing. Crazy crazy hair, how I wish I wasn't there. Crazy hair. Right, sing in the chat box if you're singing with me. Crazy hair. How I wish I wasn't there. Crazy hair. How I wish I wasn't there. Stanley felt someone touch his shoulder. I was just coming to get you, said Larry. What if they laugh at me again? Everything will be fine. I promise. Stanley stood in front of the class. Everybody stopped. Everybody stared. Stanley rolled the rubber bands in his hair. He gently tapped the top of his spikes. This is going to be a day I will never forget. And look at that. Look at all the beautiful things that this picture has. And can you tell us where is Stanley, in the front row, in the back row, or in the middle row? Look at this picture, everybody, and tell me, where is Stanley? Front row, middle row, or back row? I want to see your responses in the chat box. Where is Stanley? Oh, yes, in the front row. And that's the end of the story of Crazy Hair Day. Now, I want you to write this prompt, the day I will never forget. And I want you to write this prompt, write a few lines on this prompt, not right now, but after this session, and do mail it to Oxford University Press India. I'm putting the address. You can mail it on this address. Email address, your reflections. We'll make sure that we read it and see what you think. The day I will never forget is, write at least 10 to 12 lines about such a day and send in your entries. Now, these were the two stories that I wanted to share with you. I just wanted to say that whatever you read, it's important for you to read, think, write, and reflect, because only then the cycle of reading gets completed. So, did you enjoy the session? Yes, no. So we have a meter from 0 to 10. 0 is boring, 10 is very interesting, and somewhere in middle. On 0 to 10, how will you rate today's session? I want you to quickly put a number in the chat box and be honest, be candid. Oxford University Press India at gmail.com is the email address. Oxford University Press India at gmail.com. I am overwhelmed with your response. I can see some fours, fives, sevens, and six. I can see a lot of tens, nines. For everybody who has found it 4, 5, 6, 7, please put it in the chat box. How can we make the sessions more interesting for you? The Story Fest is all about reading together, listening to stories together, and falling in love with stories together. So let's do it right. Let's do it together. Whatever we can do to make it better for you, please put it in the chat box. We'll be happy to work on that. And everybody who has given their scores, given their rating, given their how they felt, quickly, one takeaway from today's session in the chat box. We have 2 more days left for the story fest. There are exciting stories and exciting activities lined up for you, so make sure that you log in at 4 p.m. tomorrow as well, and bring in more friends and tell them that this is happening. And in case you're not able to catch us live, the recordings are right there on your on the YouTube channel. You can go watch them, enjoy the stories, do the activities, and keep listening to stories. Thank you everybody for listening with so much love. I'm just overwhelmed. When I was, when we were planning this live, I was not sure how is it going to be, whether I'll be able, I was not able to see, I will not be able to see you. I knew that. But the way you are interacting, your promptness, the quickness with which you respond, uh, tells me that you are there with me, you are listening to me, and I am so overwhelmed with the response. Share this link with your friends. Their school, or they may not be aware of it, but share it with them so that they can enjoy it, find it find, listen to the stories, and hopefully find them interesting as well. Thank you, Ashutosh. Thank you for sharing that you wanted to see how a story is told. Thank you. And I hope there are some takeaways for you and you are able to get little nuances of storytelling. Uh, All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining in. That's about today's sessions. Please log in tomorrow at 4 p.m. and join the Story Fest on day 4. I'll see you tomorrow at 4. Bye bye. Everybody, please drop a nice bye bye in the chat box before I end the session. Thank you once again. Bye. See you tomorrow, everybody.